Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Rock coming up with the weekly comic book roundup. First, something I would like to bring up for next week. Next week's comic book roundup might be slightly delayed. We'll see what happens. Anyway, on to this week's haul. We've got 8 books here, so try and get through them as quickly as we can, huh? First and foremost, we're going to start off with Marvel Knights 20th Anniversary number 6, concluding the Marvel Knights 20th Anniversary miniseries. Where we left off, Black Panther regained his memories and realized that when the device was taken from him, he was attacked by Daredevil, Elektra, Hulk, and Punisher. And so he turned on them. Alrighty. So we open up with everybody. You've got T'Challa versus 2 different groups of people. Cops are outside the Baxter building, and suddenly Dr. Doom lands on top of one of the cop cars, having been dropped by Kingpin at the end of last issue. Of course, this turns out to be a Doom bot. Fisk narrates, talking about how the unusual thing that happening in the city is that nothing unusual is happening. Aside, of course, from the sighting of a green monster ripping a hole in the side of the back building, and the Doom by the way on top of a cop car. But no Spider-Man screaming from the rooftops. No children of the atom fighting for and from the future in Central Park. No gods or Avengers sending flashes of red, blue, and gold thundering across the sky. Not tonight. Because for the very first time in its entire Marvel's history, the city is asleep. So anyway, T'Challa really does not have much of a problem taking down everyone else. And while he's accusing Matt Murdock of stealing the technology and using it and whatnot, he has an epiphany. He's still alive. Therefore, they did not, they're not responsible for what happened. They may have attacked him, but the basic idea is they were being mind controlled. So, anyway, they are led to where the device is held. And Karen Page is like, yeah, it's here. And the next part's not going to be fun. And so Kingpin then comes down to the villains. Bullseye asks where Doom is, and Fisk says he is their Doom, and he does not give orders. He leads, and they follow, or they fall. So anyway, it's stated that there's a golden dragon guarding the machine. And it looks kind of, from the looks of things, maybe one of the villains that is being led by Kingpin is in fact Daken. But yeah. We get a nice little bit of face-off between Matt Murdock and and Wilson Fisk, which ends very quickly with Daredevil knocking Kingpin the fuck out. So anyway, they open the device. T'Challa does it with as it has a biometric security override. Figuring he's just the only one of them capable of building something that can protect the device and cage a golden dragon. Of course, that dragon turns out to be none other than the Sentry. Who was sworn to protect the machine. Turns out that there's something's going to happen to the city. It's going to fuck up the city pretty bad. And it's kind of implied that because the superheroes are there, it's going to happen. So yeah. There's some arguing. Punisher shoots the Hulk. Well, Punisher shoots Banner, which of course causes him to Hulk out. And, well, Hulk being one of the few beings who can stand up to the Sentry, well, yeah. The two go head to head. Machine is activated and everyone regains their memories, and yeah. Then Daredevil and Elektra have a chat before swinging off into the city. And I just want to say, this could have been just the most balls to the wall, amazing event comic Marvel had done in years. But, and I get it, I do. Many of us are, especially when it comes to Marvel fans, many of us are burned out on event comics. If for no other reason, the fact that every event, it's, this will change the Marvel Universe forever, until midway between this event and the next event, because we got to get things back to normal before, we do another one. So, yeah. It's kind of events are annoying in some ways. In other ways, they're kind of cool. There are some that I've really liked. House of M. I enjoyed Civil War more or less. There are some. There's some. It's not the most well liked by everyone. I'll just leave it at that. Some others that I've enjoyed included. Actually, I liked Secret Invasion. That was cool. The Senior's all right. Fear itself was pretty cool. I think that's actually the last one I read. Anyway, moving on. We got The Punisher #7. So where we left off. Punisher had met with a boss in the prison, a nun who was missing an eye. And at the same time, Jigsaw is impersonating the Punisher in Bagalia and killing political dissidents. So we start off with a couple of those political dissidents trying to leave when, they run into the Punisher, who chucks a Molotov cocktail into their car. And it explodes. Hydra troops put him under arrest, and Jigsaw explains, hey, not too rough, okay? Make it look good for the cameras, but don't get carried away with it. They beat the crap out of him. Anyways, back to actual Frank and Sister Mercy, who is making one of calling him Francis. They talk a bit. She informs him she's not impressed by his manhood. Turns out, that years and years ago, back in Punisher 34 through 40, she was. That's the first time she met Frank Castle. Teaching, well, she was a nun teaching children. Of course, the village she was in got turned into, basically, hey, yeah, you're gonna help us, get stuff we need for drugs. And then, well, Frank Castle shows up, blows everything up, and, yeah. There's a panel that kind of makes me think that of all characters, Belasco was involved as well. And she's trying to impress upon him the concept that his violence will have repercussions for people who don't deserve the repercussions. And in the yard, he sees one of the Hydra guards attacks someone, and while he does the same thing, and he attacks a few others, gets tossed into solitary, but they're told after he bites the ear off one of them, the Taskmaster shows up and says, yeah, I'm putting you back in Gen Pop because otherwise these guys will kill you, and Zemo wants to do that publicly. Turns out that Sister Mercy and one of her guys got roughed up because, well, Frank's violence begat violence. One of the guards sees him talking and says, basically that's enough, and starts smacking around Sister Mercy. Well, Frank stops him, and the guard says, hey, give you a choice. You either watch her take a beating, or you take it for her. Frank opts to take it for her, and, well, they don't, they give him quite the beating. He was beating so bad that he had some brain swelling and the pressure had to be lessened in surgery, which also gave him quite the haircut. And it turns out that Sister Mercy's whole plan is to get Frank Castle to take control of the prison. And that's where the issue ends. Alright, moving on to West Coast Avengers, number 7. Man, we're all about some 7s this week. So, where we left off in West Coast Avengers. The team was in little cages, for the most part, at the mercy of the West Coast Masters of Evil. However, not in one of those cages was Hawkeye, the Kate Bishop one, who had first run into her mother and then run into her ex-boyfriend, Novar. So, turns out that Novar is undercover as Graviton, which she thinks is a weird choice. And that's why he kicked her in the face. And, yeah. She questions his decision-making skills, which is kind of normal for them. And he is going to pay for that kick in the face. But hey, he's going to help her save the team. So, in what's referred to as Thunderdome nonsense, we get a handful of the team that's now loose and facing a Hellfire Golem, while the other two, well, Hawkeye, Clint Barton, and America Chavez are still in their little cages. Also, because for various reasons, they can't use their powers. At least can't concentrate to use their powers. Satana and Modako argue over which is better to do, magic or science. As Kate signs to Clint to remove his hearing aid, which he does, and hey, he's feeling a lot better now. And they're also able to. Then she launches some. She launches some sonic arrows that basically help the rest of her team utilize their powers. And of course, fight breaks out, and well, Novar's ruse is discovered, but most of them, America, Clint, and Gwenpool go to take out the and to meet back up with Kate, and yeah. However, Kate is knocked out by her mother. And the West Coast Masters will teleport out. So America manages to take care of the Hellfire Golems that are left behind. And yeah. Then they all teleport out. Also, Gwenpool decides to adopt one of MODOK's land sharks, having named it Jeff. Hawkeye, Clint, lays down the law pretty quickly. The first time that Jeff bites something alive that isn't a supervillain, he's out. Which Gwenpool finds to be amenable. America and Ramon share their first kiss, and we get the after mission bit with the team. Hawkeye kind of explains, hey, no one got dead, so that's a good day. Clint, that is. The camera crew says that's kind of a low bar. And Clint's response being, yeah, well, get back to me after you've died. Which, let's not forget, Clint has. Next up, we've got Fuse. Yes, I have forgotten. I said that I have a habit of forgetting his name. Who's not too happy about Novar showing up. Mainly because he's... it seems to be a bit of jealousy, nothing else. Gwenpool figures that she's more likely to survive if she has a love story, otherwise she may just fall into being a supporting character. And how far is it from side character to full-on red shirt? And then Novar explains what's going on to the camera crew. He's been infiltrating a Los Angeles-based cult called the Temple of the Shifting Sun, which he believes to be a thinly veiled cover for a nest of ambitious Skrulls. Which he also adds are the fucking worst. The West Coast Masters will argue a bit, and it turns out that Kate Bishop's father is also involved. Because, yay! Actually, it's my quick version is not probably wrong to entirely the book justice. It was actually a really good issue. Excuse me. Next up, we've got Captain America #7. Like I said, we got some sevens going on. All right, so where we left off, Cap had been accused of murdering General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, formerly known as the Red Hulk. So we start off at the Myrmidon, which is a private penal facility for the physically enhanced. And Selene is being escorted to the warden, who is none other than Baron Strucker. That's right. The founder of Hydra has been given a prison because he turned against Hydra during the whole secret invasion thing. And now, of course, Cap realizes that if you disgrace the shield, you disgrace the dream. His statement is being taken, but a warrant will probably be issued because it appears that General Ross's back was broken by something resembling the shield. On Staten Island, where a soldier smacks around some people at the bar with no name, trying to get some information. He doesn't. He does, however, have a bit of a back and forth with the owl. And he gives hands the shield over to Sharon Carter. Meanwhile, Lucan gets the update that Captain has turned himself in. And he's being interrogated by Nick Fury Jr., who asks where the shield is, and Steve says he lost it. And so he's being taken to the Myrmidon. And I'll be escorted to his cell. I'm not sure if Lucan is being met with allies or met with a whole bunch of people who are going to kick her ass 6 ways to Sunday. The Daughters of Liberty, consisting of Spider-Woman, Invisible Woman, oh crap, Daughters of the Dragon, shite. Also, Echo, Mockingbird, it's like White Tiger. I can't look for that friggin' name. Oh, crap. Let's look down there. Misty Night. That's what it is, Misty Night, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be Jen Walters or the girl from is Guardians of the Galaxy, who is linked to Valkyrie. Or thing is, that's not Lucan. That's, of course, it's Sharon Carter. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's Sharon Carter that meets up with the Daughters of Liberty. Alrighty, that makes sense. All right, moving on to X-Force number 2. So where we left off here, X-Force had inadvertently started a friggin' war. Morons. So, in Transia, we've got a convoy full of mutants being taken to God knows where, when it's suddenly attacked by X-Force. Domino and Kid Cable argue a bit. While Cannonball prevents Warpath from killing the transient troops. However, he doesn't manage to prevent Shatterstar from doing the same. And this is why I don't think that Cannonball is going to be long for this team. That and the fact that we've now got him not existing, or having vanished in one book, Uncanny X-Men, and still around in this one, at the same friggin' time. So it turns out there was a soldier, a mutant who was hiding, who was also a soldier who was hiding his mutant powers, and trying to find a way to escape, or to help everyone escape. And so X-Force agrees to work with this guy. Meanwhile, it turns out that the Transients are working with none other than Ahab. Excuse me. Who, as we all remember from Extermination, is stuck in the present. Also, the now president has a mutant son, who he refuses to believe just happened to have the mutant gene, and yeah. He refuses to accept the science of it, and just thinks that, no, it has to be an infection of some kind. So, Shatterstar and Kid Cable have a chat at Blade Point. And Andre, the soldier that has mutant powers, agrees to go in to re-infiltrate the base with Deathlock. In the Transient Federal House's sub-basement, a time portal is opened. And the guy coming out of it demands to speak with the president. However, apparently this was how the whole thing began, with Transit becoming a safe haven for mutants. And so the new president orders their liaison from the future killed. And he insists the body be tossed back in the vortex, and let his corpse be a declaration of war. Also, while Deathlock and Andre are heading back to the Transit Federal House, X-Force, as well as the mutants they rescued, are attacked by giant friggin' mechs. And Kid Cable makes the point of getting as many of the civilians out of the way as possible, while the rest of X-Force attacks. And yes, I'm going to keep calling him Kid Cable because he's Kid friggin' Cable. Moving on to Exile's number 12, the sadly final issue. So where we left off, the Exiles had just fought the Anti-Exiles. Also, the Unseen, Nick Fury Sr., is chained up on the moon in a rather uncomfortable manner, but he knows his Exiles, they're coming. They've won. And that at least puts a smile on his face. And so the Exiles arrive on the moon, having decided to take the fight to the Watchers. And of course, the Watchers was like, yeah, you've been messing with reality, so yeah, we can't be having that crap. Like, yeah, and how many realities we improved? That's still not the point. But yeah, they do kind of forget the whole thing that the Watchers are, cosmic beings. So they are each sent to various realities, or made to see various realities where, they fail. King sees one where Claw kills his sister. Cap sees one where she gets shot by Baron Zemo, and her blood, basically the super soldier serum is taken out of her blood and used by Zemo to take over the world. Becky sees one where she's a housewife, an abused housewife. Valkyrie sees one where Surtur defeats Odin, and she has failed. Wolverine ends up in the X-Men cartoon or a similar universe because he does like that whatever that song is though. Blink ends up back in her home dimension, the Age of Apocalypse, which is of course bleak as hell. But the Talisman, she uses the Talis to rescue everyone. Nate ends up as King the Conqueror and killing various people. However, Blink manages to save him, but he ends up sacrificing himself to save everyone else. And just as they're about to attack, the other Watchers, the good Watchers who don't, do crap like this show up and take them all into custody. And they also unchain the Unseen. They're like, hey, you guys are good. On Earth, they have a funeral of sorts for Nate. And then that night, Khan visits Blink in her dreams. Apparently, her she's now in a reality that could have been where where her family lived, and her daughter has a dream wielding ability, which allows her, so she's able to push Khan into into Blink's dreams, and also give her the Talus back. Blink basically says sooner or later someone out there in the multiverse is going to need help that only they can give, and when they do, the Exiles will be there. And so, yeah, that's the end of, I don't know, the 10th, 30th, billionth Exile series. Okay, not that many. We're probably at like the 4th or 5th. Okay, maybe 6th or 7th. But yeah, there have been more than a few. Anyways, moving on to Dead Man Logan, number 3. Yes, that is number 3. Haha. So where we left off, Logan was apparently was facing off with the Sinister Six, who were actually the Avengers, in Times Square. And of course, as well, the Sinister Six and a civilian that he thinks is Mysterio. Logan messes up Iron Man's armor pretty good. Mysterio explains that the illusions that Wolverine's seeing are more than just visual; they're also audible. In fact, everything is going to say, this is not, it's not Steve Rogers, someone else. So yeah, but yeah, Claw Herman sees what's going on, goes to Jubilee, explains we got a problem. So they go to fix the problem. Also, Hawkeye has explained to the Avengers what's going on. Sin and Miss Sinister have a chat. And Miss Sinister explains to Sin that once we've killed the superheroes, we're gonna kill Mysterio. And as Sin leaves, it's revealed that it was actually Mysterio talking to Miss Sinister. And well, he's not liking the idea of being killed after becoming like the best. Anyways, the X-Men managed to stop Wolverine, circumvent the illusion. Jubilee basically stands up to Cap saying, no, we got this. Don't, we got it. Don't worry. And Cap said, you know what? Hey, the X-Men, I don't want to start another Avengers versus X-Men war, so okay, fine. You got this. However, from the shadowy distance, Mysterio watches and listens. And we end with an obituary for Punisher in the Wastelands. It really just recaps the Old Man Logan annual from a few months back. Alrighty. Then our final book of the week, Age of X-Men Alpha. Okay, so X-Men seemingly made all the X-Men disappear, himself included. Except, of course, for X-Force and Cyclops, and yeah. So, apparently everyone's a mutant. Though sometimes that can be a problem, like when mutant powers manifest and hurt and cause pain. For example, when everyone's frozen. And not just everyone, but everything, including grass, as Nature Girl points out. X-Man goes in and finds a young girl, and they talk a bit, and they manage to get everything worked out. And X-Men takes her to the Summers Institute and leaves her with Angel. We get some walking around bits. We see Rockslide studying, a statue of Cyclops, Sunfire teaching, Enola working in the lab, Glob working with chickens. Though something's on Glob's mind, which we'll find out in Next Gen #1. And then we got X Sanctuary, where the X-Men hang out. And they talk about the mission today and just stuff in general. And we also get some exposition about what happened when everyone became a mutant. Next, we see everyone just kind of, in their downtime, including Bishop and Jean Grey watching a movie together. And then they kiss, which leads to the two of them sleeping together. Though it turns out that what they did was illegal. Cut to Nightcrawler, who's facing down at a space alien with a old-timey laser pistol in his hand, and rescuing a damsel in distress. Well, it turns out it's all a movie set. And while Bishop puts up all of his weapons, he reflects on the fact that Strife is dead. Magneto is one of the X-Men. Well, what would be the X-Men? The other villains are gone, and it's all peace. But his mind can't handle being still. Never could. However, he's soon attacked by the Extremists for having engaged in a forbidden relationship. This is apparently his third breach of the rules. And eventually they managed to capture him. And that will be Bishop's story will be told in Prisoner X. Next morning, the X-Men are talking, and someone's missing, but Laura shows up. X-23. who's now in the team picture in place of Bishop. Oh, there's also, apparently there's a revolutionary, Apocalypse, who claims it's okay to love, and, join him, come see what you're missing. And so, the books will be involved in Age of X-Men. We've got the Marvelous X-Men, Next Gen, the Amazing Nightcrawler, Extremis, Prisoner X, and Apocalypse and the Extracts. Basically, Age of X-Men Alpha is it does what pretty every other Alpha book has done. It sets up. It sets up the storyline that it's telling. Another prime example of an Alpha book was X-Men Alpha back when we started off the Age of Apocalypse. Anyway, so that's it for this week. Like I said, next week's might be delayed a little while. We'll see how things are looking. Yeah. That's it for now. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Comment if you want. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon in the description box down below. Hit the notification bell to be notified of when I put up new content. This is Rockwell Stock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.